So I want to be financially independent by age 30, where I no longer need to work if I don't want to. So I asked ChatGPT how to become financially free. So I inputted my income, my expenses, and my savings, and the results genuinely shocked me. So I'm going to go through how to create an actionable plan. Then I'm going to go through how long it takes to be able to be financially free, and finally the actionable steps that need to be taken today. Now, if you want to speed up this process, I have a full investing course on Skillshare on how to invest for beginners. First of all, I opened up ChatGPT and I'm going to type in my exact current situation. So straight away, I am 23 years old, earning 45k per year. Expenses are 1,950 per month. This is because I have a flat which costs around £1,300 near London, and I also have lots of other different expenses that I do during the month, such as going to play tennis, going to the spa, going to the gym. I save around £950 per month. How can I reach financial independence by age 30, where my investments cover my living expenses? So I do expect ChatGPT to give me a very detailed answer and probably do some financial maths behind in the background, but there's generally a 4% rule where you draw down 4% on your current investment portfolio each year throughout the time where you are retired, and that is basically how it's being calculated. So I would assume that ChatGPT will do something very similar. But one thing to note is ChatGPT isn't going to be perfect. You do have to play around and put lots of different things into ChatGPT to be able to get a good result, because with this, it's only as good as the information that you feed it, and sometimes, well, it's not always great when you feed it perfect information. So we are going to have to play around with it a little bit, but let's have a look what it said. So it's outlined my current situation, my income, my expenses, my total savings, and what financial means in your case. So I need to have £23,400 a year to be able to fund my current lifestyle, which means that I need a total of £585,000 by the time I turn 30. So that's 7 years. Then it goes on to say how much I would get if I was to put it in the stock market with a 7% annual return. And it's saying what other things I can do to bridge that gap by increasing my salary, by cutting expenses, investing in different high growth assets. So based on what I put in at the moment, it's saying I'm only going to reach 250 to 300k by age 30, which means that I am very, very far off that £585,000. It's saying that I need to increase my income to 70k by age 27 to be able to do this, which might be a little bit of a stretch. It's given me good results here, but this isn't very realistic at all. Certainly when you work in banking like I do, you will go through a rather nice career progression where you have 4% annual pay rises, and then you have promotions every 3 to 4 years, and this can be anywhere from 10 to 15%. The other thing that it's missing out here is the fact that it hasn't got my current amount of savings that I have. It hasn't got my current side hustles, which I do because I obviously run this YouTube channel, I have a Skillshare course, and I have affiliate links. So let's go ahead and put that information in now. So I currently have 25k in savings. Half is invested in the market and the other half is invested in a cash ISA. I have a side hustle, which is YouTube, Skillshare, and affiliate links, generating around £200 per month. So let's see what it says with that, and then we'll input the career progression. I'm expecting this to say that we'll get there a little bit sooner, because having that 25k already in the bank is already going to be generating me some money. So I have it in a cash ISA, which generates around £40 per month. And then I currently have the other stacked in a market, which has generated around £700, which is quite a good, reasonable return. So it says here that I actually now only need 525,000. And my projection to age 30 is that I'm only going to have £165,000 in my bank account, which means that I'm still not going to be able to make the total goal. And then once again, it goes through pathways to accelerate, because this is the thing with ChatGPT, it wants to keep you on the platform for as long as possible. So yes, it's giving me the answer, but it's also giving me prompts about a pathway to accelerate my financial independence to actually get there to 30. And it's saying about the income growth, the side hustle scaling, and reducing expenses. So I think we'll go ahead and input the career progression part first, because there is a seriously good career progression in banking. So I have just been given a pay rise to 46,800 and get 4% each year. I also get a promotion every 3 to 4 years, which is 10 to 15%. I will also get a bonus of around 5%. From my employment, I invest 400 into a pension and have £75 invested each month into a share plan. How does this change things? So this is the other thing with my employment. Not only do I invest into the stock market, and not only do I get my bonus and the promotions, but I also invest into a pension. So I put around £125 in a month, and then my company matches that plus a little bit more. So in total, there's £400, and this is locked away in the market until I turn 55. So yes, it's a long, long way away, but I also have £75, which I put into my company's share plan each month, which generates me a decent dividend income, but also means that I'll get my shares after a 3-year lock period. So let's see how this changes things with ChatGPT. So straight away, it's updated my income and contributions. It's got my side hustle stuff in there, and it's talking about the portfolio projections. It's going over the coverage at 240k, and then we've got the pension. So it's saying how I put £400 in, but it's locked away till 57, 58, which is good that ChatGPT has actually noticed this. And it's created me a very realistic road plan, still saying that I am massively off. It's saying that I'll hit between 220 to 260 net worth by 30. It's saying that my pension will guarantee long-term financial independence, but that's not the whole point in this. We're wanting to get that by 30. It's saying that my current income isn't going to make it there before 30. And the thing is, this needs to be more realistic as well, because it's very unrealistic that I'm just going to be sat in this current flat, which I'm renting at the moment, for the rest of my time after 30. I'm also planning on wanting to buy a house. I also want to buy a new car. So let's input those into here and let's see if that changes anything. I want to buy a house in the future, which requires a 40k deposit. I also want to buy a new car. How does this affect things? And I can imagine this is going to affect things quite a lot. 40k out of the 220 to 260k, which they're projecting that I'll have by the age of 30, is obviously going to be wiped out. There's also the fact of wanting a new car. A new car can cost anywhere between 15,000 to 30,000, which is also going to massively scale back how long it's going to be able to get financially independent. So let's have a look what it's gone and said. So straight away, it's gone in with the impact on the financial impact savings. So if you reserve 60k for a house and car, your portfolio drops significantly because 60 is earmarked for short-term use, which means that it's gone and adjusted the portfolios for us. Roughly, I'm going to have a massive impact, and I'm going to have around 120 to 150k in my portfolio, with 60 tied up for the house or the car. It also goes into the options to manage both, so the different options which I can do. Option A, I can prioritize the house and the car first. I could go into parallel savings and making sure that I can fund a car and the investments at the same time, or just increase my side income aggressively to try and make that financial independence. So it's gone into many different scenarios, but what I'm wondering now is, if I was to be really aggressive with my investments and do a lot of dollar cost averaging, a lot of compounding, am I going to be able to make that financial independence a lot sooner? Obviously, we know with the market, you can get between 7 to 10%. And if you're lucky, you can have some mega years at 22%, which we've seen over the past few coming out of COVID. Can we do that to be able to get to where I want to get to? So let's have a look. I am thinking about aggressively investing in the stock market. I want to invest in different companies to try and get as much money as possible. I will likely benefit from compounding. How does this change things? So this is gonna speed everything up, but like I said, we have the business cycle, so there may be some market crashes. It will be super interesting to see if ChatGPT can actually pick up on the fact that there could be a market crash, because these market crashes happen every 5 years. There's gonna be one between my age 23 and before I hit 30. If it picks up on that, it's gonna be really good, but I think it might not. Let's have a look. So key differences from index investing compared to stock investing, where we could see between 10 to 15% rather than maybe 7%. We can see how 25k can turn to 49, whereas it could turn between 80 to 85,000 pounds. The aggressive portfolio with a 12% average could yield between 280 to 330k by age 30. And it has spoken about some of the risks and considerations, to be fair. Some of them are losing between 50 and 80% of their value, different concentration risk, liquidity needs. This is very good, but it hasn't really given me a good estimate for if the market were to crash. So I feel like you did not look at the fact the market could crash. How could this affect my portfolio? Which is a bit annoying because I thought ChatGPT might be able to figure that one out, but it clearly hasn't. So that's what I mean. Sometimes you have to prompt it to be able to do the things that you want it to do. So here we go. It's given a full table of the portfolio after the crash in an extreme case, and we could only be left with 125k, which is nowhere near our 585k, which is required. It's spoken about probability and timing and risk mitigation strategies, and has given a little summary at the end, which is really, really good. Now, one final thing which I like to do is to create a full graph on here to have like a visual timeline of this financial independence, and it's really good at doing this. So create me a visual timeline of the next 7 years. So I've been playing around with it, trying to get me to create the graph, but for some reason it's giving me some Python code instead. So this is what I mean. ChatGPT can be good sometimes, but sometimes it just doesn't quite understand what you are after. But that's all well and good. I want to know what the next actionable steps are for me to be able to be financial independent, because it looks like I'm going to get there around 35 to 40. So I'm going to ask it, this is good. Please tell me the next steps in this plan to be able to be financially independent. And it should create me a nice roadmap, and we can see here it's going through the short-term actions: build cash, maintain emergency fund, continue pension contributions, medium-term actions, and long-term actions. So it has given me a very good overview of how I can get there, and being realistic at the same time, because sometimes ChatGPT is just overly optimistic, and sometimes it will just pop out and say, yes, you can easily make this amount of money. Just make sure you grow your income. And they say it as if it's something super easy and super simple, when sometimes it's not. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to know how to plan to become a millionaire, I created another one using ChatGPT, which is really, really eye-opening, and genuinely, I follow it today, and I have been following it over the past few months. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to learn how to invest even better, check out my course where I teach beginners, intermediates, and people who are advanced how to invest. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.